Hello everyone, back again with movie and tune recap. Today, I'm going to explain an American psychological thriller film from 2026, titled The One Next Door. Spoilers ahead, so watch out and take care. The movie begins with a happy couple, Robert and his wife, Tabitha, who live with their daughter, Maya, and the family has just celebrated their anniversary together. One day, after Robert drives Maya to school, Tabitha is greeted by their new next-door neighbor, Malik, who recently moved in. They chat briefly before Tabitha heads inside, and once alone, however, it becomes clear that something is troubling her. At his workplace, we learn that Robert is an architect who has just landed a contract worth millions of dollars. Later, he meets his best friend Johnathan at a restaurant, and despite his recent achievement, Robert seems unhappy. He tells Johnathan that Tabitha has been acting distant and keeping to herself, making him feel as though they are no longer a couple and that he may be losing her. Johnathan suggests that Tabitha might simply be stressed from being a wife and mother, and advises Robert to find out what is really bothering her. Back at home, Tabitha chats with her friend, Taylor, while they notice Malik exercising outside, and Taylor is immediately attracted to him. When Tabitha tells her about her earlier conversation with Malik, Taylor suspects that Tabitha may be developing feelings for him. However, Tabitha reminds her that she is already married. The conversation then shifts to Robert, and Tabitha explains that he no longer spends as much time with her as he used to, making her feel as though they are no longer a couple. She admits that Malik is giving her the attention she has been longing for, but she refuses to cross the line because she is married. Later, when Robert returns home from work, he spots Malik helping Maya fix her bicycle while also bonding with Tabitha. During dinner, Tabitha and Maya tell Robert how helpful Malik has been to them. They explain that Malik is a tech guru who has no wife or children, and as his family continues talking about Malik, Robert becomes jealous. That night, Robert goes outside to dispose of the trash and finds Malik working out. They chat briefly before Robert thanks him for helping Maya fix her bicycle, and after returning inside, Robert tells Tabitha that he finds Malik suspicious. Meanwhile, in her room, Maya is seen chatting with Malik on the phone on a game app. The next morning, while heading to work, Robert sees Malik working out on the porch, which makes him feel awkward. Later at the restaurant, Robert tells Johnathan about Malik and how he feels that Malik is trying to fit into his family. Johnathan suggests that Malik may simply be trying to be a friend. He advises Robert to host a community barbecue and invite Malik over so they can get to know him better. Johnathan also agrees to attend and help Robert keep an eye on him. Meanwhile, Tabitha returns from the grocery store with her hands full when Malik shows up and helps her carry the groceries inside. In the kitchen, Malik notices the leaking faucet, and Tabitha explains that Robert tried to fix it but was unable to. Malik offers to repair it, and Tabitha agrees before going to get Robert's tools, and Malik then begins working on the faucet. Following the success of the million-dollar contract, Robert's company praises him for securing the deal. The head decides to throw a celebration to mark the achievement, but Robert says he will not be available because he has things to deal with at home. Normally, Robert arrives home late from work, but because of the special occasion, he returns early. He becomes angry when he finds Malik inside the house, just as he finishes repairing the leaking sink. Malik explains that he was only trying to help and did not mean to overstep his boundaries before leaving. However, it becomes clear that Malik may have other intentions. Robert is unhappy with Tabitha for allowing Malik into their home, but she explains that Malik was simply helping her. She adds that if Robert had been around, she would not have needed to ask their neighbor for help. That night, after Tabitha has calmed down, she apologizes to Robert for the way she spoke to him earlier, admitting that she sounded disrespectful. However, Robert is still angry, leading to another argument, and Tabitha walks away. Robert then texts Johnathan and tells him that Malik was inside his house, and Johnathan replies that it is time for him to meet Malik. The next day, while talking with Taylor, Tabitha tells her how Robert reacted after finding Malik inside their house. Unlike Robert, who only talks to her about bills or Maya, Tabitha says Malik gives her the attention she needs. Taylor warns her not to cross the line, and Tabitha then tells her about the community cookout happening the next day and invites her to attend. The following day, Robert hosts the community cookout with several neighbors in attendance. Minutes later, Malik arrives, carrying himself as though he is the man of the hour, and brings some seafood with him. Robert is preparing hot dogs, but Malik comments that they are not suitable for a cookout. One of the neighbors agrees with him and offers to prepare the seafood instead. Johnathan also arrives and tells Robert to let him handle the cooking, and the two then stand at a distance, observing Malik. As Malik continues cooking, Robert watches him interact with the guests and becomes visibly jealous. Maya notices this and tells her father not to be a hater. Later, Malik feeds Tabitha a shrimp, making Robert even more upset, but Johnathan assures him that it is not a big deal. After the cookout, Taylor approaches Malik, who is sitting alone, and during their conversation, Taylor becomes interested in him and decides to make a move. However, Malik turns her down, and Taylor realizes that he is interested in Tabitha rather than her and walks away. It seems that Johnathan and Taylor are working together to keep an eye on the situation between Malik and Tabitha. Taylor tells Johnathan that Tabitha seems to like Malik a lot and that she does not want her friend to ruin her marriage. While Malik catches up with the other neighbors, Robert remains sad and jealous of him for the reasons we already know. Later, back at his house, Malik is seen texting someone, telling the person that he has got Tabitha. Meanwhile, in his home office, Robert goes through some photos that were sent to him. The next morning, Robert decides to join Tabitha and Maya for breakfast, leaving Tabitha shocked because he has not done that in a long time. Robert spends the weekend with his family, playing games with them and even teaching Maya how to play dodgeball. Happiness fills the house, and it is surprising to see Robert this way, as it has been a long time since he last spent quality time with his family. That night, Robert tells Tabitha how much he enjoyed the time they spent together, but says there is something he needs to get off his chest. He tells Tabitha that, from now on, Malik should not come inside their house or be around Maya. He insists that he is not saying this because he is jealous of Malik or trying to control her, but because he wants to establish boundaries between Malik and his family. The next morning, while using the office computer, Tabitha comes across deleted photos of herself and Malik from the barbecue. She informed Taylor about this, who tells her that Robert is now spying on her, and this leaves Tabitha frustrated. She thought Robert had finally turned over a new leaf and was making an effort to repair their marriage, but now she feels that he is only making things worse. At the restaurant, Robert talks to Johnathan about Malik and how Maya has started seeing him as part of their family. In response, Johnathan tells Robert that Malik is trying to gain access to his family, and once he succeeds, Robert could be replaced. Since Malik carefully schedules and times his daily activities, Johnathan suggests that Robert break into Malik's house to find out what he is really up to. Johnathan then makes a shocking suggestion: what if Malik is not after Tabitha, but Maya? When Robert returns home, Tabitha confronts him about the photos of her and Malik from the barbecue. Robert insists that he was not spying on her and was only trying to protect his family. However, Tabitha tells him that Malik is not the problem, he is. Maya overhears their argument and immediately texts Malik. Minutes later, Malik shows up at the door, explaining that Maya contacted him because she was scared. Robert angrily tells him to leave and even tries to fight him when Malik speaks to Tabitha. Fortunately, Tabitha is there to intervene and tells Malik to stop, because it appears Malik would have beaten Robert badly. For the following week, Robert spends his time spying on Malik, keeping track of when he goes out to exercise, when he returns, and his other movements. After gathering enough information, Robert is ready to carry out a plan he has been preparing. The next morning, Robert pretends to be sick and tells Tabitha to take Maya to school, insisting that he is not feeling well. Once Tabitha and Maya leave the house, Robert stops pretending to be sick. He grabs a metal bar and sneaks over to Malik's side of the house, and using the bar, he forces open a window and climbs inside. At the same time, Maya realizes that she has forgotten her math book at home, so Tabitha turns around and heads back to the house. Minutes later, Tabitha and Maya arrive home, and Maya rushes inside to get her math book. Meanwhile, inside Malik's house, Robert searches through his boxes for any useful evidence. He even notices a drawing of Maya on Malik's fridge. He soon discovers a card containing information about his family and what they do. Suddenly, the police arrive at the house, leaving Robert with no time to escape. He is arrested, while Tabitha and Maya are left shocked and confused. She demands to know what is happening, but the police do not tell Tabitha anything. That night, Malik meets someone in front of a motel, who shockingly turns out to be Johnathan. It is revealed that Johnathan hired Malik to ruin Robert's life and separate him from his family. Malik has completed the job and demands his payment, but Johnathan believes he is the one who truly accomplished the plan. He was the one who encouraged Robert to break into Malik's house, and he quickly tells Malik that he owes him nothing. Johnathan reminds Malik that he was the reason he got out of prison and even threatens him with a gun. Realizing that Johnathan is not going to cooperate, Malik drives away. Back at the house, Tabitha is seen crying over Robert's arrest, and minutes later, Johnathan arrives, pretending to be there to support her. Meanwhile, Malik goes to the police station and speaks with a female officer named Jennings about Robert. It is revealed that Robert was arrested for breaking into Malik's house, an incident Malik reported to the police. However, Malik now wants to drop the charges against him so Robert can be released. When Officer Jennings refuses to cooperate, Malik begins using his charm and flirting skills on her, and eventually, she agrees to his request. Back at the house, Tabitha is distressed about Robert's arrest and everything that has happened. However, Johnathan tells her that Robert is to blame for everything and that she should not worry. He suggests that she and Maya leave the house for a while to clear their heads. Since Johnathan owns a rental property, he offers them one of his houses. Tabitha thinks it is a good idea to leave for a while and agrees to his offer, and after gathering their belongings, Johnathan takes them there. At the house, Tabitha thanks Johnathan for his help. He tells her he is glad to help, but his expression suggests otherwise. After preparing hot chocolate for Tabitha and Maya, Johnathan adds some liquid medicine to it and offers them the drinks. However, Maya becomes suspicious and tells Johnathan that she will go to her room to get some rest. Meanwhile, at the station, Robert is eventually released, and outside, Malik offers to tell him the truth if he accepts a ride from him. During the ride, Malik reveals that Johnathan hired him to separate Robert from his family after Robert had confided in Johnathan about his marriage. Malik explains that he was never after Tabitha, but Robert himself. He agreed to help Johnathan because he owed him a favor after Johnathan helped him clear a case. However, Robert cannot believe that Johnathan could do something like this to him. When Robert arrives home, he cannot find Tabitha or Maya and believes that Tabitha has run away. Robert calls Tabitha, who answers and tells him that she needs some space, and before she can say anything else, Johnathan shows up and asks Tabitha to give him her phone. He ends the call and tells her that he will hold on to her phone for now to prevent any distractions. He then tells Tabitha and Maya that he will leave them to get some rest for the night and return the next morning to check on them. Robert calls Tabitha again, but this time, Johnathan answers, leaving Robert shocked. Robert tells him that he will not let him take his family, but Johnathan replies that they are a family now before hanging up. After drinking the drugged chocolate, Tabitha eventually falls asleep, and worried about her mother, Maya texts Malik, who asks for their location. However, Maya does not know where they are, so Malik asks her to send her location through the game app. After receiving the location, Malik shares it with Robert, who recognizes the place and quickly drives there. Meanwhile, Johnathan, who claimed to have left, returns to the house. When he sees Tabitha asleep, he proceeds to kiss her. However, Tabitha suddenly wakes up. During their conversation, it is revealed that Tabitha had an affair with Johnathan 7 years earlier. Johnathan insists that all he wants is for them to come back together as a family and claims that Maya is his daughter, but Tabitha denies this, leading to a confrontation between them. Meanwhile, Robert eventually arrives at the house and confronts Johnathan, his best friend. The two engage in a fight, with Robert gaining the upper hand. He smashes a bottle over Johnathan's head and begins strangling him, but just then, Malik arrives and stops Robert, while police officers also show up and arrest Johnathan. With what seems to be the end of the ordeal, there is still one final revelation when Maya plays an earlier conversation between Johnathan and Tabitha that she had recorded. Because of Tabitha's affair, she and Robert eventually divorce, with Maya staying with Robert. Tabitha is allowed to call Maya whenever she wants and may also have her stay with her on weekends. Unlike before, when Malik waves at Tabitha, she waves back, but this time, she ignores him. At his workplace, Robert tears up a photo of himself, Johnathan, and Tabitha and replaces it with a photo of himself with Maya. Through a flashback, we learn that Robert had taken a paternity test, which confirmed that Maya is his daughter, disproving Jonathan's claim that she was his child. 1 week later, Tabitha is on a video call with Maya when, to her greatest shock, she sees that her friend Taylor is now with Robert. Okay guys, that's all the recap about The One Next Door from 2026. Thanks for watching, see you again in the next video.